What is going on, everybody? Last week I put out a video diving into the impact that our first round of stimulus checks had on consumer spending, and I went into detail on how people are actually utilizing and spending that money. And to my surprise, it was discovered that the majority of people were heavily dependent on that stimulus money, with the majority of Americans putting it towards essential items like paying rent or buying groceries. Now, obviously, many people are in a tough spot at the moment, considering how many people have had to shut down their businesses and the fact that now over 30 million people are unemployed. But given the financial situations that the majority of Americans are in, I wanted to look more into the long-term effects of our current situation and how it will affect us in the extended future. The majority of this video comes from an article by Barron's titled, "The Coronavirus Has Already Made Us Poorer for Years to Come." I found this article interesting because, unlike a lot of the media out there focusing on how bad things currently are, this one painted somewhat of a picture for the potential outcomes that may result from what we're going through right now, which isn't hopeful, and none of this is going to be good news. I think most people expect that the worst is yet to come, but I do think, for what it's worth, that it is good to keep in mind some of these possible long-term consequences to understand where we may be heading. So let's cover 5 major ways that coronavirus is going to set us back both financially and economically. This comes in the form of a delay in unemployment benefits, an increase in loan delinquencies and defaults, setbacks in household incomes, a shift in consumer spending habits, and a decline in small businesses. Starting at the top of the list here, there has been a major backlog in unemployment benefits. You know, when people's houses burn down from a fire, it's been said that the worst part of someone losing their home and everything that they own isn't necessarily all the trauma that results from that alone, but rather the most emotional and challenging time is when these people try to get back up on their feet after the fact. And dealing with insurance companies to receive the money needed to recover everything that they've lost is complete hell. And from what I've heard, trying to receive your unemployment benefits can be the same. It can take months and months to receive your unemployment benefits, and for those that have been recently unemployed, this is a tough time. With over 30 million people finding themselves without a job, the unemployment rate is now approaching 15%, which is a level higher than it's been since the Great Depression. As a result, unemployment offices have been unable to handle the unprecedented volume of claims. This means that so many people are just waiting to receive some kind of unemployment support. But in the meantime, they're falling more and more behind financially as they're forced to spend their savings and cover their needs using credit cards. And for these people, the delay of these benefits is digging them deeper and deeper in a hole. Since I just mentioned the rising unemployment rate, I'll move to my next point here because it's been estimated that if the unemployment rate hits 20%, we would see a major increase in loan delinquencies and people defaulting on their loans. This means people not paying their mortgages, auto loans, student loans, even credit card debt. Loan forbearance could help prevent a string of full-on defaults, but this would still depend on how long the recovery takes and how badly people are impacted. Not paying your debt has some obvious consequences, and it is possible that we could see a default crisis sometime in the near future, depending on how things continue. The next long-term economic effect comes in the form of setbacks in household incomes. Economists have found that laid-off workers in total lose about 2.5 years of income over the rest of their professional lives. Being laid off creates a ripple effect that follows people through the rest of their careers. They don't just have less income coming in while they're unemployed, as you would expect, but it turns out that someone that has been laid off will typically make less and have lower employment in the future, most likely due to the fact that someone without a job will be willing to accept a lower wage job and or take a temporary job. So not only are people struggling while unemployed, but they struggle to catch up throughout the remainder of their careers, which in turn affects their consumer spending habits. Tough times like these will definitely have an impact on our spending behaviors, and I know for sure that a lot of people will be spending less and saving more by the time we come out of this. The financial crisis of 2008 pushed the average American saving rate up from about 4% prior to 2008 compared to 7.5% in the years after 2008. Not a massive change, but there was definitely a shift in how people managed and spent their money. This last one might be the most destructive to our economy, and that's the decline of small businesses. So many restaurants and local shops have already been forced to close with no plans to ever reopen. And it's predicted that far less people will actually want to take on the risk of opening a small business as long as the virus is still a concern, which as of now will be for an indefinite amount of time. And this will translate into a sharp slowdown in US productivity growth, as well as a longer duration of high unemployment rates. The rate of new business formation has seen a major drop in the last several weeks, and America is starting to lose its competitive edge in innovation as entrepreneurship declines. A lot of these go hand in hand. As you can see, a drop in small businesses creates more unemployment, which leads to lower household incomes, which in turn leads to a shift in spending habits and possibly people not paying their loans or their bills. All of these are tightly interlocked with each other. There's obviously no clear answer on how and when things will start to recover, but these are some of the long-term effects that we could expect to see and are already seeing. Once again, not sure if this video offers a whole lot of value here, but I thought it was worth quickly sharing some of these possible long-lasting effects in order to take a look at where we may be heading. That's it for this one. Until next time, peace.